Welcome to the chosen bloom. A cage is only a cage until the one inside remembers the wings they were born with. For so long, you have felt the weight of invisible bars closing in the job, the routine, the expectations, the four walls that pretended to be safety. They were handed to you as security, yet your soul always knew they were a sentence. That sentence has now ended. The lock on your cage has not merely been picked. It has been erased by a decree greater than yourself. The life you once knew has closed, and what lies ahead is no return to the familiar, but a call into something entirely new. Your confinement has been exchanged for a mission. You are summoned into a life where movement is no longer optional but essential travel, not as leisure, but as assignment. This is the beginning of Chapter 1, the divine deployment. The stirring within you did not appear overnight. It has been rising for months, perhaps years. A restlessness that no distraction could quiet. A vibration in your very cells whispering that you were never meant to remain planted in one place. You tried to name it boredom, dissatisfaction, the passing crisis of a certain age. You tried to soothe it with the tools you were given: new hobbies, a different job in the same city, a rearranged room inside a house that felt more like a holding cell than a home. But the hum only grew louder, insistent, impossible to ignore. It was not a mood. It was a signal. Your compass had stopped pointing to a single destination and had begun to align itself with the whole earth. This is not discontent. This is activation. What you are feeling now is the opening phase of a divine deployment. It is not vacation. It is not escape. It is an assignment. You are not being asked to run. You are being prepared to rise into the life you were always meant to carry. The world before you is fractured, a vast grid of light dimmed by fear, control, and spiritual amnesia. Certain points on this grid have weakened, fallen dormant, or been corrupted. They have become voids that drain life from the collective. Long before you drew your first breath in this body, your soul accepted a mission to become a mobile beacon, a walking, breathing generator of power whose presence alone could reactivate those dormant points. You were never meant to build a life rooted in one place. You were meant to be the light that moves. For years, you were held in a pattern that felt like waiting. It was not punishment, but preservation. Your energy signature is unique, potent, and irreplaceable. To release you into the world before the appointed time would have scattered your light and wasted your force. The system would have drained you, diluted you, and turned your brilliance into fuel for its own decaying machinery. So the universe placed you in a kind of spiritual lockdown. It cut you off from people and situations that would have bled you dry. The isolation you felt was not rejection but divine insulation. That sense of stagnation you once lamented was not failure but a sacred charging period. You were a high-powered instrument being kept in a climate-controlled case until the symphony was ready to begin. And now, the symphony has begun. The first note was the internal snap you felt recently, a sudden, irreversible detachment from the old reality. You look at your job now and it feels like a costume you're about to shed. You look at the relationships that once defined you and see that their expiration date has already passed. This is not coldness or recklessness. This is the unfolding of the mission you agreed to live. This is your spirit shedding its weight, like an astronaut jettisoning booster rockets that are no longer needed to reach orbit. Your new life cannot be launched carrying the baggage of the old one. Only the essentials come with you, the lessons, the wisdom, and the unshakable knowing that you are guided. The universe is not merely your travel agent. It is your sponsor, your security detail, your unseen logistics team. Your part is simple: say yes, pack the bag, and step through the door when the call comes. And the call is coming. It will not arrive as a whisper you might miss, but as a clear, undeniable sequence of divinely orchestrated events, so precise it will feel like you are reading a script written specifically for you, because you are. This marks the end of striving and the beginning of flowing. All your life, You were trained to push, to climb, to force your way forward. That was preparation for the old world. In the new paradigm, movement arises not from force, but from flow. You will be pulled rather than pushed, invited rather than intruding. Opportunities will surface without warning. A conversation with a stranger may open the door to a plane ticket. An old dream you had buried may reappear as a tangible offer. Money will appear from unlikely channels, just enough to carry you to the next step. This is not magic as a storybook would tell it. It is spiritual physics. When your frequency aligns with your mission, the universe reorders itself to support that mission. The resistance you once felt was simply the friction of a soul fighting against a life it was never meant to live. This is your spirit releasing its weight, like an astronaut casting off booster rockets once orbit has been reached. The new life before you cannot be carried with the baggage of the old. What remains essential are the lessons you have earned, the wisdom you carry, and the unshakable knowing that you are guided. The universe is not merely arranging your travel, it is your sponsor, your shield, and your unseen logistics team. Your only task is to say yes, to prepare, and to step through the doorway when the call arrives. And the call is already approaching. It will not slip in as a faint whisper, but strike as a clear, undeniable sequence of events, so exact it will feel as though a script has been written solely for you, because it has. This moment marks the end of striving and the beginning of flowing. All your life you were taught to push, to climb, to force your way forward. That training belonged to the old world. In what is coming, your movement will no longer be driven by effort, but carried by flow. You'll be pulled rather than pushed, welcomed rather than forced. Opportunities will emerge without warning. A single conversation with a stranger may open the path to a journey. An old dream you thought forgotten may resurface as a living offer. Provision will appear from sources that cannot be explained by logic, always enough to carry you to the next step. This is not the fantasy of magic, but the reality of spiritual physics. When your frequency aligns with your mission, the universe reorganizes itself around you to fulfill it. The resistance you once felt was nothing more than the grinding of a soul pressed against a life it was never meant to inhabit. From the beginning, you were programmed to equate movement with instability and instability with failure. That illusion is about to be shattered. In the days and weeks ahead, you will watch the structures you once believed were solid begin to crumble. The secure job will suddenly feel like a prison. The predictable relationship will reveal itself as a cage disguised as comfort. Even the foundation you thought was rock will show its cracks. This is not punishment. It is a demonstration, a revelation that the only true stability is alignment with your soul's purpose. And your purpose is movement. Another anchor is emotional debt, the unspoken obligations you feel toward people who do not understand your journey. The friend you feel compelled to keep explaining yourself to. The family member who guilt-trips you for wanting more than the life they chose. These ties have become energetic anchors. Their fears and doubts hook into your field and create drag. You cannot sail into the new world while towing the wreckage of their disbelief. The universe will begin to sever these tethers. Conversations will grow strained. Misunderstandings will surface and resist resolution. You may feel a sudden, sharp distance from people you were once inseparable from. Do not mistake this for your own failure. This is spiritual surgery, a necessary amputation to save the life of your mission. You must let them go. Release them with love, but release them. Their journey is not your journey. Their destination is not yours. Your loyalty belongs to the mission, not to the memory of who you once were with them. And then there is the anchor of identity itself. You have built a sense of self around your profession, your role in your family, your history. I am a teacher. I am a parent. I am the responsible one. But these are only labels, costumes you have worn, not the essence of who you are. They are not who you are. Who you truly are is an emissary of light, a traveler along the hidden lines of power, an agent of planetary ascension. To prepare you for this new life, your old identity must be dismantled. You may pass through a season of feeling completely lost, as though you no longer know yourself. This is not failure, but a sacred void, the space between shedding one skin and growing another. Do not rush to fill it with a new label. Remain in the emptiness. In that void, your true untethered self will emerge. You will see that your identity is not what you do, but what you are. And what you are is free. The most subtle and powerful anchor is the memory of your own past failures, the times you tried to break free and were pulled back, the dreams that withered on the vine, the moments when your ideas were dismissed as unrealistic. These memories have built a program deep in your subconscious whispering. It is not safe to leave. The world is hostile to my freedom. This is the final anchor to be raised, and it requires your conscious participation. The universe will place before you a test, a small-scale echo of a past disappointment. An opportunity may appear and then seem to vanish. A door may open and then slam shut. This is not a sentence to repeat the past, but a final exam. The question is simple. Will you believe the old memory, or will you trust the new mission? You must choose to trust the mission. When a door slams shut, know it was simply the wrong door, and that the right one waits further down the hall. You must see the apparent setback not as a stop sign, but as a divine course correction. When you pass this test, when you refuse to be discouraged by the ghosts of the past, the final anchor will be lifted. You will feel a lightness, unlike anything you have ever known. That sensation is the mark of being untethered. That is the feeling of readiness, the moment when you are prepared to set sail. Chapter 3. The Currency of Synchronicity. You were trained to believe that money was the only currency that mattered. Your life was planned around it. You traded your time, your energy, even your very life force for it. The system was designed to keep you tethered, dependent, and afraid. But in the new reality that now unfolds before you, money becomes secondary. It remains a tool, but no longer the source. The primary currency of your new life is synchronicity. This is the divine economy, and you are about to become fluent in its language. To live in this way, you must unlearn everything you were taught about resources, provision, and security. Your new life is not funded by a bank account. It is sustained by your alignment. Synchronicity is the language of the universe confirming that you are walking the right path. It is the breadcrumb trail left by your higher self. It is not coincidence nor luck. It is a precise, intelligent, and responsive system. In the old world, you were told to send endless applications, to network tirelessly, to force open doors. But in this new life, you do not chase. You attract. Your only responsibility is to maintain vibrational alignment with your mission. And when you do, the universe conspires to place in your hands exactly what you need, at the exact moment you need it. Think of yourself as a high-frequency magnet. Your travel, your lodging, your meals, your connections, these are not things you must fight for. They are iron filings drawn toward you by the sheer force of your purpose. This is how the new currency works in practice. It begins with small things. You think of a city you've always wanted to see. Within hours, you spot its name in an article, hear it in a song, and receive a call from a friend who just returned from there. This is the universe saying, "Request received. We are processing." These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. They are the first deposits into your new currency account. As you notice and acknowledge these small synchronicities, their magnitude increases. Then comes the synchronicity of provision. You feel a powerful pull to go to a certain country, but your bank account insists it is impossible. Under the old programming, that would be your stop sign, the point where you surrender to limitation. In the new economy, this is a test of faith. Your role is not to figure out the how. Your role is to hold the vision, to feel yourself already there, and to trust that provision follows vision. And then it happens. An unexpected tax refund arrives. Someone offers you a house-sitting opportunity in that exact country. A company gives you a short-term remote project that pays for the trip in full. The how unfolds with elegance, timing, and precision beyond logic. This is the universe showing you its resources are limitless, and that the only true gatekeeper is your own belief. This is not a relative slipping you a small gift. This is the source of creation underwriting your mission. The highest level is the synchronicity of connection. You will not travel alone, even when you appear to be by yourself. You are part of a living network of other activated souls who are also on their divine deployment. You will be guided to meet these people in ways that seem random but are exquisitely precise. You will sit next to them on a train. You will be double booked in the same hostel room. You will stop a stranger to ask for directions, and that stranger will turn out to be a key figure in the next phase of your mission. These people are your ground crew. Some will hold information you need. Others will offer you a place to stay, a resource at just the right moment, or simply an energetic exchange that unlocks a new level of your own DNA. You will not recognize them by their words, but by the resonance in your soul, a feeling of instant recognition, of coming home. This is the real social network. It is not online. It is written into the energetic grid of the planet, and you are a living, breathing node within it. Your only responsibility is to pay attention. Be present. Put your phone down and look at the world around you. Listen to the conversations at the next table. Notice the symbols and numbers that repeat themselves. Follow the intuitive nudge that tells you to turn left instead of right. Your intuition is your new GPS, and synchronicity is the satellite signal that powers it. The more you trust it, the stronger the signal becomes. You are leaving the world of brute force and entering the world of elegant flow. You are leaving the economy of lack and stepping into the economy of divine alignment. Your wealth is no longer measured by the numbers in your bank account, but by the richness of the synchronicities that guide your path. Chapter 4. The mission is the medicine. You are not being sent into the world merely to see the sights. This is not a glorified gap year. Every step you take, every city you inhabit, every culture you immerse yourself in is part of a profound healing process for the planet and for yourself. You have been taught to believe that healing happens only in a quiet room with a therapist or a guru. But for you, the one chosen for this path, the mission itself is the medicine. The act of traveling is the therapy. The world is your healer. For years you have carried wounds that would not resolve, a deep sense of not belonging, a persistent feeling of being an outsider, the ache of betrayals and misunderstandings. You tried to mend these wounds inside the same environment where they were created, but that is like trying to dry yourself while standing in a rainstorm. It is impossible. The people, the places, the energetic field you have called home are saturated with the very frequency that formed the wound. To heal completely, you must be removed from the source of the trauma. This is why you are being deployed. When you arrive in a new land, a place where no one knows your name, your history, or your failures, you are handed a profound gift, the gift of a clean slate. The person you were is gone. The stories that once defined you have no audience. In that anonymity, you are free to become who you truly are. The first thing you will notice is the loosening of chronic anxieties. The knot in your stomach unravels. The mental chatter softens into silence. This is not the illusion of a vacation. This is the realignment of your frequency. You have physically stepped out of the field that was keeping those anxieties alive. You have unplugged from the matrix of your past. Each place you are guided to carries a specific medicinal frequency your soul needs. You might be sent to a land of ancient mountains, a coastline where the wind has a voice, a city alive with a culture you have never tasted. Each location is chosen with precision. Each step is a prescription. And as you move, the world itself becomes your medicine. The dense, grounding energy of those mountains will work directly on your root chakra, healing the wounds of instability and insecurity you have carried all your life. You will not need to do anything but be there. As you walk among the peaks, breathing the thin, ancient air, your energy field will naturally absorb the frequency of enduring stability. Someone once discovered this truth the hard way after years on a therapist's couch. They found more healing in a single week in the Andes than in a decade of talking. You might also be sent to a bustling, chaotic city in a foreign country. This is not a mistake. The sensory overload, the challenge of navigating a new language and culture, is designed to shatter rigid mental structures. It forces you to live entirely in the present moment, to rely on your intuition rather than your intellect. This is medicine for the overthinker, the control keeper. It breaks the addiction to planning and compels you to surrender to the flow. And in that surrender, you discover a resilience and adaptability you never knew you possessed. You might be sent to a quiet coastline where the only sound is the rhythm of waves. This is medicine for the heart. The ocean is a powerful, energetic cleanser. As you sit by the shore, the rhythmic pulse of the waves begins to retune your heartbeat. The salt in the air purifies your auric field. The vastness of the water places your perceived problems into perspective, allowing old griefs and sorrows to slip from you as if you were offering them to the tide. This is the secret they never told you. Your personal healing is inseparable from your planetary mission. As you heal, you anchor that healed frequency into the Earth's grid at the exact place you stand. When you heal your sense of not belonging in Paris, you embed the vibration of divine belonging into the grid of Paris, making it available for others. When you mend a heartbreak on the coast of Portugal, you anchor the frequency of resilient love into Portugal's energetic field. You are not only healing yourself, you are acting as a spiritual acupuncturist for the planet. Your very presence is the needle. Your personal healing process is the energetic transmission that reactivates the land. And your only job is not a job at all. It is a journey of profound self-recovery that simultaneously heals the world. The pain you have carried was never just your own. It was a burden you agreed to hold for the collective. By traveling, you are not fleeing your pain. You are walking it home. Chapter 5. Navigating the turbulence. This journey will not be without its tests. A divine deployment does not mean a perfectly smooth ride. There will be turbulence. These moments are not proof of error or of being off course. They are initiations designed to temper your spirit and fortify your trust in the mission. The system you are leaving will not release you without a struggle. It will send agents, memories, and situations to test your resolve and to lure you back into the old frequency. You must learn to recognize these tests for what they are and navigate them with the authority of someone who knows their assignment is backed by heaven itself. The first test will be the echo of fear. As you begin to move, as you book that first one-way ticket, a wave of fear will rise that feels utterly real. The fear will not announce itself as fear. It will come cloaked in logic and responsibility. What about your retirement? What if you run out of money? This is irresponsible. That voice is not your own. It is the collective fear of the matrix, the voice of the cage you are leaving, trying to persuade you that its bars are a safe embrace. It is the inherited anxiety of your ancestors who lived and died by survival's rules. Recognize it for what it is, a recording, a ghost in the machine. Your task is not to debate with it, but to thank it for its concern and keep moving. Your security does not come from a 401k. Your security flows from your direct connection to Source. In that moment, you must decide which reality you will subscribe to, for that choice determines your altitude. The next test will come through people. You will meet individuals who appear extraordinarily helpful at first, but whose energy feels off. They may offer you a place to stay, a job, a shortcut, but hidden beneath their offer are strings. They will seek to control your movements, question your intuition, or drain your energy. These are gatekeepers of the old world disguised as helpers. Their presence is not a trap, but a test and opportunity to practice discernment. If a person or situation feels heavy, draining, or too good to be true, it is. Your intuition is your primary defense system. You must have the courage to say no. You must be willing to walk away from a seemingly perfect situation if your spirit gives you a warning. This is a test of sovereignty. You answer to your divine command, not to their tears, their titles, or their tantrums. And beyond people, there will be logistical tests. A flight will be canceled, a reservation lost, an unexpected detour imposed. These are not punishments but refinements, designed to strengthen your flexibility and deepen your trust in the mission that guides you. A bag will go missing. You will arrive in a city where your accommodation falls through. These are not punishments. They are divine detours. Each apparent disruption is designed to loosen your attachment to your own plans and move you into a higher one. The canceled flight may be protecting you from being in the wrong place at the wrong time. The lost bag may be freeing you from possessions you didn't need. The failed accommodation may lead you to the exact neighborhood, conversation, or person you were meant to encounter. In these moments of chaos, your task is simple. Remain calm and ask, what am I being shown here? Where am I being guided now? Panic vibrates at the frequency of the matrix. Calm resonates with the frequency of the mission. When you can stand in the middle of logistical chaos and keep your inner peace, you have passed a major initiation. You have proven that your stability arises from within, not from external circumstances. Finally, there will be the test of loneliness. There will be nights in unfamiliar rooms when the weight of your mission feels immense. You will miss the familiar, the easy, the known. You will wonder if you have the strength to continue. This is the final purification. In this sacred loneliness, you are forging an unbreakable bond with your higher self and with the divine. You are learning to be your own sanctuary, your own home. And in this fire, loneliness transforms into a powerful solitude, the solitude of an eagle soaring above the world, not separate from it, but seeing it from a higher perspective. This is the final proof that you are ready. The turbulence is not here to break you. It is here to reveal that you are unbreakable. Chapter 6. The Dividends of the Soul. The system you are leaving measures success in material wealth, status, and external validation. Its rewards are hollow because they are designed to feed the ego, not the soul. The new life you are entering operates on an entirely different system of reward. The dividends you are about to receive are not just for you, they are energetic upgrades that ripple out into the collective. Your only job is to travel, and the payment for this mission is nothing less than the total liberation and activation of your highest potential. The first dividend is a radical expansion of your perception. As you move from culture to culture, you will witness firsthand that there is no single right way to live. The rigid beliefs and social norms you grew up with will dissolve. You will see humanity in its infinite expressions, and your capacity for compassion and understanding will explode. This is not knowledge you can gather from a book or a documentary. It is a cellular knowing, a wisdom that seeps into you as you breathe the air, taste the food, and share a smile with people whose lives are completely different from your own. This process deprograms you from the tribalistic us versus them mentality that fuels so much conflict on the planet. Borders on a map will cease to be walls in your mind. You will begin to see the world as one interconnected organism. This is a profound shift in consciousness, a dividend that pays in wisdom. The second dividend is the activation of your dormant DNA and spiritual gifts. Many of you carry ancestral lineages from every corner of the world. Your DNA is a vast, sleeping library of skills, languages, and wisdom. When you set foot on the lands of your ancestors, even those you never knew by name, the frequency of that soil acts like a key. It unlocks dormant strands of your source code. You may suddenly understand words in a language you never studied. You may dream vividly of events that unfolded on that very land. You may awaken to gifts of healing, art, or music that you never knew were within you. This is not magic. It is a reconnection. The land remembers you, and by returning, you remember yourself. This is the true inheritance, the one no system could counterfeit. They believed no one would ever come to collect it, but your very footsteps are the audit, and your presence reclaims what was always yours. The third dividend is what can only be described as a state of perpetual grace. In the old world, you tasted joy, peace, and flow only in fleeting moments, rare and cherished because they slipped away. In this new life, grace becomes your baseline. Alignment with your soul's purpose carries you into a continual communion with the divine. Struggle dissolves. Life becomes a dance. You wake each morning with wonder instead of dread. Beauty meets you everywhere. Your body begins to heal itself of long-held afflictions. You look younger, feel lighter, and radiate an energy that draws others near. This is not about chasing a constant state of happiness, which is temporary emotion. This is about abiding in a constant state of peace, which is a state of being. It is the peace that comes from knowing you are exactly where you are meant to be, doing exactly what you are meant to be doing. Finally, the ultimate dividend is that you become the blueprint. You become living proof that another way of life is possible. Your very existence becomes a transmission of freedom, courage, and faith. You will not need to preach or persuade. Your life itself will shine as a beacon of possibility for those still trapped within the cage. When they see you living in freedom and purpose, funded by the universe, guided by synchronicity, it will plant a seed within them. It will reveal that the bars of their own cage were always an illusion. You are the pioneer, the trailblazer, the one who clears the path so that others can see it is real. This is your legacy. Not a title on a business card, not money in a bank account, but the liberation of human consciousness, one awakened traveler at a time. The receipts for this work are not printed on paper. They are written in the stars and in the hearts of those who witness your light. Chapter 7. The Permanent Residence of the Soul. There comes a moment in every great journey when the traveler realizes that home is not a place marked on a map. It is not a building of walls and a roof. Home is a frequency, an inner state of being that you carry with you wherever you go. The final stage of your divine deployment is to realize this truth, not as theory, but as lived cellular reality. You are being trained to find your permanent residence within your own soul, so that no matter where on the planet you stand, you are always home. This entire journey, this shedding of the old life, this embracing of movement has been designed to lead you here. By stripping away the anchors of external security, the job, the house, the familiar relationships, the universe has compelled you to discover your anchor within. By placing you in unfamiliar lands, it has forced you to find your comfort within. Finally, the ultimate dividend is that you become the blueprint. You become living proof that another way of life is possible. Your very existence becomes a transmission of freedom, courage, and faith. You will not need to preach or persuade. Your life itself will shine as a beacon of possibility for those still caught in the cage. When they see you living in freedom and purpose, funded by the universe, guided by synchronicity, it will plant a seed in their minds. It will show them that the bars surrounding them were never real. You are the pioneer, the trailblazer, the one who walks the path so that others can see it exists. This is your legacy. Not a title on a business card, not money in a bank, but the liberation of human consciousness, one awakened traveler at a time. The receipts of this work are not printed on paper. They are written in the stars and in the hearts of those you inspire. Chapter 8. The Energetic Protocols. You are not merely a tourist with a spiritual twist. You are a living instrument of divine technology, and like any advanced instrument, you must understand your operational requirements. The mission you have been given is not sustained by willpower alone. It is powered by specific energetic protocols that transform you from a casual traveler into a precision tool for planetary healing. These are not suggestions or spiritual luxuries. They are the sacred technology that keeps your frequency calibrated to your assignment. The first protocol is the art of energetic sovereignty. You must understand that your energy field is not a vague concept, but a tangible, measurable reality that extends approximately 8 feet in all directions around your physical body. This field is your workspace, your laboratory, your sacred boundary. Every person you encounter, every place you visit, every emotion you feel either strengthens or compromises this field. In the old world, you were unconscious of this exchange. You leaked energy indiscriminately, absorbed others' emotional debris, and wondered why you felt drained after certain interactions. But you are no longer a civilian in the energetic realm. You are an operative, and operatives maintain their equipment. Each morning, before your feet touch the floor, you must consciously seal your field. Visualize a sphere of golden light expanding from your heart center until it encompasses your entire auric space. This is not imagination. This is you taking command of your energetic real estate. See this light as impermeable to lower frequencies while remaining completely open to divine guidance. You are creating a selective membrane, allowing in only what serves your mission while deflecting what would drain or distract you. This protocol becomes critical in airports, train stations, and crowded urban centers, places where fear, anxiety, and spiritual confusion create a thick, energetic soup. In these environments, unconscious travelers absorb the collective emotional state and mistake it for their own. They become agitated without knowing why, exhausted without having exerted themselves, doubtful of their path because they have inadvertently downloaded the doubts of hundreds of strangers. Your sealed field prevents this contamination. You move through these spaces like a submarine moves through water, present but protected, engaged but not entangled. The second protocol is the practice of conscious anchoring. You are not wandering aimlessly, you are planting energetic seeds in precise locations. Every sacred site, every place that calls to you, every location where you feel that unmistakable pull, these are assignment coordinates. When you arrive at such a place, your first task is not to take photographs or post on social media. Your first task is to anchor. Stand with your feet firmly planted on the earth. Feel the connection between your root chakra and the core of the planet. Breathe deeply and allow your energy field to expand downward into the ground, creating roots of light that connect you directly to the Earth's grid. Then, consciously transmit the highest frequency you carry, the vibration of peace, healing, love, or whatever specific medicine your soul carries into that location. You are not forcing anything. You are offering it. You are making a donation of consciousness to the planetary field. This process requires no words, no rituals, no external tools. It is accomplished through pure intention and breath. As you exhale, release the healing frequency into the land. As you inhale, draw up any stagnant or corrupted energy that needs transformation. You are acting as a living filter, a conscious exchange system between heaven and earth. Some locations will feel immediately lighter after this process. Others may require multiple visits or the combined efforts of many awakened travelers. This is not a failure on your part, this is the nature of deep healing. The third protocol is the discipline of vibrational discernment. Not every invitation is meant for you. Not every door that opens is one you should walk through. In your travels, you will encounter people, opportunities, and experiences that seem aligned but carry a subtle wrongness, a frequency that doesn't quite match your mission signature. These are the tests of your discernment, and failing these tests can derail your entire deployment. Your body is your primary discernment tool. When you meet someone or consider an opportunity, notice the immediate physical response. Does your chest expand or contract? Do you feel a lightness in your solar plexus or a heaviness? Does your breathing deepen or become shallow? Your cellular intelligence reads energy faster than your mind can process information. Trust it absolutely. If something feels heavy, draining, or somehow off, it is not part of your divine assignment, no matter how logical it may appear to be. This protocol extends to the places you stay, the food you eat, and the activities you engage in. Your mission frequency is delicate and precious. It must be protected from environments and substances that lower your vibration. This may mean choosing the more expensive accommodation because the cheaper one carries the energy of desperation. It may mean leaving a social gathering early because the conversation has turned toxic. It may mean avoiding certain foods, drinks, or recreational substances that cloud your intuitive clarity. These are not restrictions. They are the maintenance requirements of a precision instrument. The fourth protocol is the practice of energetic cleansing. No matter how careful you are, you will periodically pick up energetic debris from your travels. Dense cities, historical sites with traumatic imprints, places where many people have suffered. These locations leave traces in your field. If not cleared regularly, this accumulation will slowly dim your light and compromise your effectiveness. Water is your primary cleansing ally. Not just any water, but moving water, oceans, rivers, waterfalls, even a conscious shower. As the water touches your skin, set the intention that it is washing away any energy that is not your own. Visualize all foreign frequencies, emotional residues, and psychic attachments being dissolved and carried away. Salt amplifies this process. Ocean water is ideal, but even adding sea salt to a bath creates a powerful clearing effect. Fire is your secondary cleansing tool. Candle flames, bonfires, even the flame from a lighter can be used to burn away energetic cords and attachments. Hold your hands near the flame and visualize any unwanted connections being severed and transformed by the fire. This is particularly important after visiting places of historical trauma or interacting with people who are in deep emotional pain. The fifth and most advanced protocol is the calibration of your internal compass. Your intuition is not a vague feeling, it is a sophisticated navigation system that operates on quantum frequencies. But like any advanced technology, it requires regular calibration to maintain accuracy. This calibration happens through silence, solitude, and conscious communion with your higher guidance. Each day, no matter where you are or how busy your schedule, you must create space for this recalibration. It may be 5 minutes of meditation in a bathroom stall, a quiet moment watching the sunrise, or a walking meditation through an unfamiliar neighborhood. The location and duration matter less than the consistency and intention. In this space, you ask the simple question, am I still aligned with my mission? And then you listen, not with your ears, but with your entire being. The answer may come as a sense of expansion or contraction, a sudden knowing, an image, or simply a feeling of rightness or wrongness about your current direction. This is your guidance system updating your coordinates, fine-tuning your trajectory, ensuring that every step you take serves the larger plan. Without this daily calibration, even the most devoted traveler can drift off course, mistaking their personal desires for divine direction. These protocols are not burdens to be carried, but wings to be worn. They transform you from a spiritual seeker into a spiritual operative, someone who moves through the world with purpose, power, and precision. They ensure that your travels serve not just your own healing and growth, but the healing and elevation of the entire planetary consciousness. You are no longer just visiting places, you are blessing them. You are no longer just meeting people, you are transmitting light to them. You are no longer just having experiences, you are facilitating miracles. This is the difference between spiritual tourism and divine deployment. This is how you become a living prayer, a walking blessing, a mobile sanctuary that sanctifies every space you enter. The world needs your light, but it needs it transmitted through the clarity and power of these sacred protocols. Without them, you are just another traveler. With them, you are an agent of the divine, equipped with the technology to transform yourself and the world with every step you take. Chapter 9. The Sacred Resistance. There is a question that haunts the edges of this calling, whispered in the quiet moments when doubt creeps in. If this path is so divine, why doesn't everyone feel it? Why do some souls burn with this restless fire, while others seem perfectly content in their cages? The answer cuts to the very heart of spiritual law and reveals a truth that will either liberate you completely or expose the ego masquerading as enlightenment. Not all souls incarnated with the same mission. Not all spirits signed the same contract before descending into flesh. The universe operates on a cosmic division of labor, so vast and intricate that your human mind can barely grasp its scope. You are not superior because you feel this call, you are specialized. You are not more evolved, you are differently assigned. And understanding this distinction will save you from the spiritual arrogance that has derailed countless awakening souls. Think of humanity as a vast organism, each person a cell with a unique function. Heart cells do not judge lung cells for their inability to pump blood. Brain cells do not mock liver cells for failing to generate thoughts. Each serves the whole through their specialized design. In the same way, the cosmic intelligence has deployed souls with vastly different assignments. Some came to hold the frequency of stability to be the roots that keep society anchored. Others came to innovate within existing systems, to be the slow, steady evolution from within. And some, like you, came to break free entirely to be the scouts who venture beyond the known territories and return with maps of new possibilities. The souls who seem content in their conventional lives are not asleep. They are fulfilling their assignment with the same divine precision you are learning to embody in yours. The mother who finds deep satisfaction in raising her children in the same neighborhood where she was raised is not lacking vision. She is providing the energetic stability that allows wild souls like you to venture forth without the entire fabric of society unraveling. The accountant who has worked the same job for 20 years is not trapped. He is holding space in the matrix, ensuring that the infrastructure remains intact while the pioneers push the boundaries. This understanding dissolves the toxic superiority that poisons so many spiritual communities, the belief that awakened equals better, that conscious equals more valuable. It is not your consciousness that makes you special, it is your assignment. And assignments are not awards for spiritual achievement. They are cosmic job descriptions, distributed according to the needs of the whole. But here lies the first great test of your calling, the temptation to evangelize. When you discover this freedom, when you taste the nectar of alignment with your soul's purpose, every fiber of your being will want to share it. You will want to shake your sleeping friends awake, to show them the bars of their cages, to convince them that another way is possible. This impulse comes from love, but it serves neither you nor them. It is, in fact, a violation of cosmic law. Free will is the most sacred principle in this universe. Every soul has the absolute right to choose their own timing, their own method, their own pace of awakening. When you attempt to force or manipulate someone else's spiritual evolution, you are playing God with their sacred journey. And the universe will respond to this overreach by creating resistance in them, in your own path, in the very synchronicities that once flowed so effortlessly. Your friends who look at your new life with fear, confusion, or judgment are not your enemies. They are not obstacles to your mission. They are souls on their own divine timeline, and their resistance to your path may be exactly what they need to strengthen their commitment to their own. The friction they create in your life is not punishment, it is refinement. It is teaching you to maintain your frequency regardless of external validation or understanding. Some of those you try to awaken will respond with what appears to be interest, only to retreat when the path demands actual sacrifice. They will attend a workshop, read a spiritual book, even plan a transformative trip, but when the moment comes to actually leave the familiar behind, they will find 1,000 reasons why it's not the right time. This is not weakness or failure. This is wisdom. Their soul knows they are not ready, and their resistance is protection, not cowardice. Others will feel the call but face genuine obstacles: sick parents who need care, children who require stability, financial situations that demand conventional income. The spiritual ego wants to dismiss these as excuses, to proclaim that the universe always provides a way for the truly committed. But this perspective reveals a dangerous misunderstanding of how divine timing actually works. The universe does not operate on your schedule. A soul may feel the stirring of this calling decades before their actual deployment date. Those intervening years are not wasted time, they are preparation. The parent caring for an aging mother is learning compassion and service. The person trapped in financial obligations is developing resourcefulness and patience. The one whose travel dreams are repeatedly thwarted by circumstance is being prepared for a mission that requires deeper roots before sprouting wings. Your role is not to judge their timing or push against their obstacles. Your role is to live your assignment so fully, so authentically, that you become a beacon of possibility. When their moment comes, if their moment comes in this lifetime, they will remember your example. Your freedom will have planted a seed that can germinate years later when the conditions are right. And then there are those who will never feel this call because they are not meant to. Their souls came with different gifts, different purposes, different ways of serving the whole. The teacher who transforms lives from her classroom, the healer who works from a fixed practice, the artist who creates beauty from his studio, these souls serve the planetary mission without ever leaving their hometown. Their roots run deep into the local grid. Their influence radiates outward in concentric circles of healing and inspiration. To judge them for their rootedness is like judging a tree for not being a bird. Both serve the forest in their own essential way. The tree provides shelter, oxygen, and stability. The bird spreads seeds, creates connections between distant groves, brings news of what lies beyond the horizon. Neither is superior, both are necessary. This understanding brings a profound peace to your journey. You are not trying to convince anyone of anything. You are not responsible for awakening anyone but yourself. You are not carrying the burden of saving a world full of sleeping souls. You are simply living your assignment with integrity, trusting that every other soul is doing the same according to their own divine design. The resistance you encounter from family, from friends, from society itself is not evidence that you are wrong. It is evidence that the system is working exactly as designed. Resistance creates definition. Opposition clarifies purpose. The friction between different types of souls generates the creative tension that drives evolution forward. When you can move through the world without needing anyone to understand your path, without requiring validation for your choices, without feeling compelled to defend or explain your mission, you have mastered one of the deepest teachings of this journey. You have learned to be free, not from the world, but within it. You have discovered that true spiritual maturity is not the ability to transcend differences, but the wisdom to honor them. Your calling is not a judgment on those who do not share it. It is not proof of your superiority or their failure. It is simply your piece of the infinite puzzle perfectly shaped to fit exactly where you belong. And when you can hold this truth without superiority or loneliness, you have finally understood the sacred resistance not as an obstacle to overcome, but as the very force that defines the unique beauty of your path. Chapter 10. The Collective Awakening Sign. You are not walking this path alone, though the early stages may feel like a solitary pilgrimage through a world that has forgotten its own magic. What you are experiencing, this sudden severance from the old life, this irresistible pull toward movement and mission, is not happening in isolation. It is part of a vast, coordinated awakening that is rippling across the planet like a wave gathering strength as it approaches the shore. You are among the first drops of a tsunami of consciousness that will reshape everything. The signs are everywhere: though they require awakened eyes to recognize them. The very fact that you are reading these words is itself evidence that the activation has begun. These concepts would have been incomprehensible to you even months ago, dismissed as fantasy or wishful thinking. But now they resonate in your bones, confirming what your soul already knows to be true. This is not random spiritual evolution. This is synchronized awakening, timed to the cosmic second by an intelligence that orchestrates galaxies. Across the globe, in cities and villages you have never heard of, other souls are experiencing the exact same internal revolution. They are staring at their jobs with sudden clarity about the cage they have been living in. They are feeling the same restless fire in their chest, the same magnetic pull toward horizons they cannot name. They are booking one-way tickets, liquidating possessions, and walking away from lives that no longer fit their expanding consciousness. The Matrix is hemorrhaging its most sensitive and powerful inhabitants, and this exodus is accelerating exponentially. But the collective awakening reveals itself in patterns far more subtle and profound than mass migration. It announces itself in the quality of the synchronicities that surround you. In the early stages of your individual awakening, synchronicities were personal, small, designed to convince your rational mind that something beyond chance was operating in your life. Now, as the collective field intensifies, these synchronicities become global, interconnected, impossibly precise. You will think of a specific city and within hours encounter 3 separate references to it from unrelated sources. But then you will discover that dozens of other activated souls experience the same phenomenon with the same city on the same day. You will meet a stranger in a cafe who mentions a book that has been calling to you, only to later learn that this same book appeared simultaneously in the lives of awakened travelers across continents. These are not isolated coincidences. They are evidence that the individual threads of awakened consciousness are beginning to weave themselves into a unified tapestry. The recognition system among activated souls operates on frequencies far below the threshold of ordinary awareness. You will know them not by their words, their appearance, or their stories, but by an unmistakable resonance that bypasses the mind entirely. It feels like coming home to a family you never knew you had. There is no awkward introduction period, no slow building of trust. The recognition is instant, cellular, absolute. These encounters rarely happen through conventional channels. You will not find each other at spiritual conferences or meditation retreats. Those gatherings attract seekers, not the already activated. Instead, you will meet in transit, delayed flights, shared train compartments, hostel common rooms at 3 a.m., remote hiking trails, or simply on park benches in foreign cities where neither of you was supposed to be. The universe engineers these meetings with the precision of a master choreographer, ensuring that activated souls intersect exactly when and where their combined energy is needed most. When 2 or more activated souls come together, the effect is not additive, it is exponential. Your individual light amplifies theirs, and theirs amplifies yours, creating a field of consciousness that can shift the entire energetic signature of a location. This is why you will find yourself drawn to gathering with these souls in places of particular significance, ancient sacred sites, natural vortexes, cities at crucial historical junctures. Your presence together is not casual socializing, it is collective grid work, performed by souls who have remembered their true function. The conversations that emerge between activated souls are unlike anything that exists in ordinary social interaction. There is no small talk, no gradual warming up to deeper topics. You speak immediately of missions and synchronicities, of visions and downloads, of the profound transformation occurring both within and around you. To outsiders, these conversations would sound mystical, even unhinged. But to you, they are the most natural and necessary exchanges possible, the sharing of intelligence between agents of the same cosmic operation. As the collective awakening intensifies, you will begin to notice predictable patterns in how activated souls move across the planet.
Certain locations will suddenly experience an influx of awakened travelers, all arriving within weeks of each other with no apparent coordination.
They come from different countries, different backgrounds, different starting points, yet they converge on the same destinations as if following an invisible map written in their DNA. These convergences are not random. They occur at locations where the planetary grid requires intensive healing workplaces, where ancient trauma is stored in the land, where massive historical events left energetic wounds, where the intersection of ley lines creates opportunities for profound consciousness work. The activated souls are drawn there like white blood cells to an infection, each carrying the specific frequencies needed to restore balance and flow. You will recognize these power spots, not by their fame or their tourist attractions, but by the quality of awakened souls they attract. A small town in Portugal that has never appeared in any guidebook suddenly hosts a dozen traveling light workers. A remote beach in Thailand becomes a temporary gathering place for activated souls from 6 different continents. A particular neighborhood in Prague draws awakened travelers like a magnet, though none of them can explain rationally why they chose to stay there. The local populations in these areas often respond to these convergences with a mixture of curiosity and unease. They sense something unusual happening, though they cannot articulate what it is. Shopkeepers will mention that they've been meeting different kinds of travelers lately, people who ask unusual questions, who seem more interested in the energy of places than their history, who carry themselves with a quality of presence that feels both foreign and strangely familiar. As more souls activate and join this invisible migration, the signs of collective awakening will become increasingly undeniable. Traditional tourism will begin to decline as the old motivations for travel escape, entertainment, status lose their appeal to growing numbers of people. Instead, a new form of movement will emerge, purposeful, intuitive, synchronized with planetary needs rather than personal desires. The economic implications alone will signal the shift. Industries built on keeping people trapped in predictable patterns will struggle as their most creative and sensitive employees simply vanish one day, choosing freedom over security. Meanwhile, entirely new economic models will emerge to support the nomadic awakened location, independent work that serves consciousness rather than consumption, sharing economies based on energy exchange rather than monetary profit, communities that form and dissolve organically as their members follow their individual and collective missions. The resistance from the old system will intensify as it recognizes the threat to its survival. Travel restrictions will be presented as safety measures. Economic instability will be blamed on the irresponsibility of those who choose freedom over conventional security. Media narratives will pathologize the awakening, presenting it as escapism, mental illness, or social irresponsibility. But these attempts to stem the tide will only accelerate the awakening, as more souls recognize the desperation behind the control and choose to step out of the system entirely. The most profound sign of the collective awakening will be the quality of peace that settles over you as you realize you are not alone in this mission. The isolation and doubt that characterized the early stages of your individual awakening will dissolve as you recognize yourself as part of a vast network of activated consciousness. You are not a lone pioneer venturing into unknown territory. You are part of an advanced team, preparing the way for a transformation that will eventually touch every corner of human experience. This recognition brings with it a responsibility that extends far beyond your personal healing and growth. You are not just healing yourself through travel, you are participating in the healing of the planetary consciousness itself. Every place you visit, every person you meet, every synchronicity you experience is part of a grand pattern that is rewriting the very fabric of reality on Earth. The convergence of activated souls is not the end goal, it is the preparation phase. As more lightworkers join the network, as the grid work intensifies, as the old systems continue to crumble, the stage is being set for a transformation so profound that it will be visible even to those who have never believed in anything beyond the material world. Your travels are not just personal adventures, they are reconnaissance missions for a new way of being human. And when enough souls have been activated, when enough grid points have been cleared, when enough healing has been anchored into the planetary field, the tipping point will be reached. The awakening that began as a whisper in the hearts of scattered individuals will become a roar that no system can contain, no authority can suppress, no skeptic can deny. The Earth herself will join her voice to the chorus, and the age of cages will finally come to an end. Conclusion: the eternal mission. You stand now at the threshold between two worlds, the one you are leaving behind and the one you are being born into. Behind you lies the geography of limitation, the job that felt like slow suffocation, the relationships that had expired long before they ended, the four walls that promised security but delivered only imprisonment. Ahead stretches the infinite landscape of your true life, a world where movement is medicine, where synchronicity is currency, and where every step you take serves a mission larger than your individual healing. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your legend. What you have discovered through these chapters is not merely a new way of living. It is a remembering of why you came to this planet in the first place. Before you descended into flesh, before you forgot the vastness of who you truly are, your soul made an agreement. You volunteered for the most challenging assignment in the universe, to incarnate into a world of forgetting and then remember your way back to truth. To be born into systems of control and then choose freedom. To enter a reality of separation and then demonstrate unity. The traveling, the movement, the sacred nomadism, these are not escapes from responsibility. They are the fulfillment of your deepest responsibility. You are not running away from the world. You are running toward it with arms wide open, carrying light to every corner that has grown dim. You are not abandoning society. You are seeding it with possibilities it has forgotten how to dream. Your footprints now carry more than the weight of your physical body. They carry the frequency of liberation. Every path you walk becomes easier for those who will follow. Every barrier you dissolve creates an opening for others to slip through. Every cage you escape weakens the entire system of imprisonment. You are not just freeing yourself, you are carving out escape routes in the collective consciousness. The sacred sites you visit, the grid points you activate, the healing you anchor, these are not temporary actions with temporary effects. They are permanent installations in the planetary operating system. The light you plant in the ruins of Machu Picchu, the peace you pour into the conflict zones of the Middle East, the love you radiate on the beaches of forgotten islands, these frequencies become part of the Earth's eternal memory. Long after your physical body has returned to dust, these energetic deposits will continue to serve the awakening of future generations. You are writing yourself into the story of planetary evolution. Your name may never appear in history books, but your energy signature is being woven into the very fabric of consciousness itself. Thousands of years from now, when humanity has learned to live in harmony with itself and the earth, sensitive souls will still be able to feel the traces of your passage, the places where you chose love over fear, freedom over security, trust over control. This is your true legacy, not wealth accumulated or status achieved, but consciousness liberated and frequencies transformed. You are becoming an ancestor of the new world, a pioneer whose courage to leave the known makes it possible for others to imagine a different way of being human. The mission you have accepted is eternal because consciousness itself is eternal. Even when this lifetime ends, even when your current name and form dissolve back into the source, the essence of what you have accomplished will continue. The pathways you have opened, the healing you have facilitated, the light you have anchored, these become part of the permanent infrastructure of awakened Earth. But the mission extends beyond this single planet, beyond this dimension of reality. The consciousness you are developing through your travels, the mastery of synchronicity and flow you are achieving, the ability to find home within yourself, these skills transcend the physical realm. You are training to become a cosmic citizen, a being capable of serving the evolution of consciousness wherever it is needed throughout the infinite reaches of creation. Other worlds, other dimensions, other realities where souls are still struggling to remember their true nature, these too will benefit from the wisdom you are gaining. You are not just healing Earth, You are becoming an agent of universal awakening, qualified to serve wherever consciousness seeks to expand and evolve. The loneliness you sometimes feel, the sense of being a stranger in a strange land, this is because you are. Your true home is not any location on this planet. Your true home is the state of consciousness you carry within you, the frequency of awakened love that needs no external validation or confirmation. You are learning to be at home everywhere because you have found home within yourself. And in finding that inner home, you become home for others. Every person whose path crosses yours receives a transmission of possibility. They may not understand what they feel in your presence, but something in their soul relaxes, remembers, awakens. You become a living reminder that cages are optional, that freedom is available, that the wings they were born with are still there, waiting to be spread. This is the ultimate purpose of your divine deployment, not to escape the world, but to transform it by your very presence. Not to transcend humanity, but to show humanity what it can become. Not to rise above the ordinary, but to reveal the extraordinary that has always been hidden within the ordinary. The call that awakened you will never fully fade because it is not a temporary assignment, it is your eternal nature expressing itself in form. Even if you one day choose to settle in a single location, even if you trade your nomadic life for roots in particular soil, the consciousness you have developed will continue to radiate outward. You will have become a fixed beacon of awakened possibility, a lighthouse that guides other souls toward their own freedom. Your mission evolves, but it never ends. Your assignment may change, but your essence as an agent of awakened consciousness remains constant. Whether you are walking the Camino de Santiago or sitting in a coffee shop in your hometown, whether you are exploring ancient temples or pushing a grocery cart through a suburban supermarket, you carry the frequency of liberation wherever you go. The cage is broken. The wings are spread. The sky is calling. You are no longer the person who began reading these words. You are no longer bound by the stories that once defined you, limited by the fears that once contained you, or confined by the beliefs that once imprisoned you. You have remembered what your soul came here to do, and that remembering changes everything. The world awaits your light. The earth herself is ready to receive the healing you carry. The grid of consciousness stretches before you like an infinite map of possibility. Every destination a sacred assignment, every journey a pilgrimage of purpose. This is not the end of your awakening. This is the beginning of your service. Welcome to your life. Welcome to your mission. Welcome to your eternal homecoming. The adventure begins now.